What is kind of confusing for me is that we've been at this two hours, and Austin police are very good at keeping the public informed, and I believe they might do that. Katina, are you there?
Here's the press conference. Mayor Leffingwell.
Yeah. Okay, good morning. I'm Bill Powers. I'm the president of the University of Texas at Austin. As you know, we had an incident this morning shortly after 8 o'clock. I'll make a brief statement. The mayor will make a brief statement, and then Chief Dahlstrom from the UT.
Can you let him in? Scott.
Will make statements and take questions. There was an armed person on the campus at Perry Castaneda library this morning. The police, both our police and Austin police, responded to it very quickly. We put people in place in the buildings and secured them. The individual who was the armed person has been confirmed to be dead. There have been no other reports of injuries or casualties on the campus. We have canceled classes for the rest of the day. The police have secured a perimeter, and I will let them talk more about what they're continuing to do. You hear the sirens going off. We still have people in place in the buildings until the situation is fully resolved. We do have a toll-free number for those who are looking for more information. The toll-free number is 1-866-657-9400. I will make one further comment. The UT Police Department and the Austin Police Department responded extremely professionally this morning. We can be proud of them. This is a very critical incident. We are fortunate that the UT Police Department and the Austin Police Department and the Sheriff's Office, in a coordinated manner, which they are trained to do, and they work together tremendously. It's a partnership that worked extremely well this morning.
Bill, as the Chancellor of the University of Texas...
Now let me have the mayor make a statement.
Well, let me just say I appreciate everyone's patience, and we're still continuing to gather information. But for now, I want to say that I'm very proud of the way APD has worked together with Travis County, DPS, and the UT Police Department to ensure that this incident was handled without any injuries or fatalities, obviously, and we're continuing to secure the situation. I am very confident right now that people in the rest of the city of Austin can go forward and feel safe in their homes and safe on the streets of Austin. And again, I'm very proud of what they've done here. And I want to turn it over to the UT Police Chief, Mr. Dahlstrom.
My name's Robert Dahlstrom. I'm Chief of Police, University of Texas. This morning, a little around 8 o'clock, we had a report of an armed person with a description of him. We sent out text messages to the student, faculty, and staff. Officers responded, as well as Austin police officers, Travis County Department of Public Safety, as we have trained to do and worked together to do. It was a good response. We were very fortunate in the fact that no one else was injured other than the lone gunman that we know of at this point. We don't have any other reports of anybody being hurt. We are working the possibility of a second suspect. We're trying to eliminate all those possibilities. We're setting up a perimeter that will probably within the hour or so open up the north end of campus. We're going to try to cut from the malls to the south to Dean Keaton, from Guadalupe over to San Jacinto, and keep that as our perimeter till we can work this crime scene through. We will, as soon as we can, we're trying to work and make sure there are no second shooters, second suspects. We'll work all those leads through before we can open any of the rest of the case.
Chief, do we have any background history on the shooter that is dead?
Anything at this time.
How do you know there was a second suspect?
At this time, I'll turn it over to Chief Ward Acevedo with Austin Police Department.
Chief, what do we know about the second suspect?
Thanks. Let me just, first of all, I want to compliment, number one, the University of Texas and the University of Texas Police Department. I have never seen a response as I saw this morning when I got here within minutes of this incident unfolding. The students did their part. They cleared the streets. They cleared the grounds in a very quick manner. And I think it speaks volumes as to what you do to prepare in your communication system. And so our hats out to you. Right now, we have APD, SWAT, UTPD, Travis County PD, our SO SWAT, and DPS SWAT elements that are conducting secondary searches of the buildings in the inner perimeter. We also have EOD explosives dogs that are going to be searching those buildings in the inner perimeter to eliminate any possibility of any explosive ordinances that may have been left behind by one or more suspects. And I think it's really important to emphasize what Chief Dahlstrom just said, that although there are reports of a second suspect, what we're doing right now is being methodical to eliminate the second suspect. As you all know, the first suspect did commit suicide in the library building earlier this morning. No shots were fired by any members of law enforcement, and we have not identified or have found any injured third parties. Again, this, as Chief Dahlstrom indicated, within the next hour, we're hoping to open the North Campus, but this inner perimeter will remain closed for the next several hours as we conduct our secondary searches of the building to make sure we do not miss anything. We have two crime scenes, one where the suspect is deceased, and the other where some of the rounds were fired that is outdoors, and that will obviously take several hours. So with that, I'm wanting to open it to any questions for any of us.
Chief, what weapons and what munitions have been recovered?
I can just tell you that the first weapon was an AK-47, and that's all we're going to release at this time.
How many shots were fired?
Well, that's under investigation.
What basis are you...
Obviously, when you have these kind of incidents, you have reports coming in. When reports come in, we have to take them seriously, and that's what the UTPD and the APD and all the law enforcement resources have done this morning, is taking them seriously. We owe it to these parents and to these students to make sure that we are safe rather than sorry, and that's what we're doing right now.
What about motive, Chief?
We don't have any motives at this time. When you have a situation like this, you're going to get multiple descriptions, and that's what we have to check out for the second shooter. We did get multiple descriptions, and we have to make sure that we didn't have other people with him. We do not feel like they were, but we have to check out every lead that we get or every call we get with other descriptions.
Do we know if the first shooter was a student or not?
We don't know at this time.
Are you describing the second person as a shooter?
Down widest and down 21st and fired shots here. The person who is deceased, is he wearing all black? Was he wearing all black and a ski mask?
That is what I am aware of at this point. I have not seen him, but that is what I am aware of.
Are you describing the second person?
And then across the street, is that accurate?
I cannot tell you the accurate part yet. We have crime scene investigations going on. We will have to wait till we get the results of those crime scene investigations, and then we'll be able to tell you where it was.
And what about the people in the basement? We were, a man and a father and mother were texting someone who had sprained their ankle in the basement of one of the buildings.
And I've heard the same thing as far as that could have happened. Someone may have sprained an ankle, but as far as we know, no one has been injured by gunfire other than the deceased gunman.
Are you describing the second person as a gunman or just a suspect?
It's a suspect at this time.
Okay.
Was he seen with a gun?
Information that this person that people talk about going down 21st went into the library. Do we believe that person went in?
We believe it is at this time.